Welcome back, everybody. Again, with Bill Blayney, one of my all-time favorites. Bill, we left off with you in the early 80s, or mid, because you were on the road for 7 years, you said.
Yeah.
So when you were kind of done with the road, what did you end up doing there?
Actually, I was on the road in Red Deer, Alberta, and Marvin Garrett owns the North 40.
Mm-hmm.
He drove up in his Cadillac with his stepson, and they both, Ray Buellin, and they come up and they said, we need a house band in Calgary at the North 40.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I need an answer really quick. And I went, like, how quick? He says, tonight. So I said, I'll do it.
Okay.
I said, I gave him the answer, I'll do it. I thought, chance to get off the road. The band was offered the gig. I told them about it. I said, it's going to be 2 weeks, so, because, you know, even though it's my band, 2 weeks notice, the standard thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I said, it's going to be 2 weeks before I can come down and do that back in Calgary. And he said, no problem. So the band didn't want to do it. So I just showed up, and Marv hired some players, some great players. Ollie Strong was on steel guitar. He played on the Tommy Hunter Show for 18 years. Been on Gordon Lightfoot albums, blah, blah, blah. He's well known. He was a steel player. Gail Runge was on drums, and Rod DeMarco started on bass. And then he quit. He bowed out for some reason there, and another guy came in named Harvey Henry, who had put out quite a few records and was absolutely a killer singer and player.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a good band. We had a lot of fun, and we played 6 nights a week. I played there from 1988 until, I have no idea when it quit, but I was still going in 2000. Yeah, I don't know how many years it was. It's got to be 15 years.
So as the house band, would you gig besides that? Or you were busy every weekend, so I guess that's pretty much all you
I played
did.
6 nights a week there and a Saturday afternoon jam. So
Hold that a cotton picking second. 6 nights? Does anybody remember 6-nighters?
Yes, I mean, like, and I actually, I did a 1-year stint where I did North 40 6 nights a week and Saturday afternoon. And then on Sunday, I would go down to Big Al's, which is just down the street, and host a jam there. I did that for almost a year without a break. But I was a lot younger back then. I mean, like, I just loved to play, and I got to hire players at the Big Al gig that I always looked up to, great guitar players, Dave Hamilton, Ray Montana, guys like that. So I got to play with guys who were my heroes, you know, local heroes here in Calgary. So. It was fantastic.
I was thinking you were telling me about all these days you were playing, that somehow you found extra days in the week or something there.
No, it was 6 nights a week, and then we take a break about, we get a week off once every 4 months, but we'd usually book another gig because everybody was out to make money too. I mean, you played a lot, but you had to play a lot to make a living.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I made a living at playing music from, 81, 82, maybe 82, right up till, I don't know when it was, 2000 and something, started doing car business.
I'm going to go off just a little bit, and we're going to stay here at this point at the North 40 and how busy you were. But I want to talk to you. You mentioned some players that you played with. And I'm curious about, I wouldn't want to ask you who's your favorite person to play with, because for obvious reasons, but I would ask, of the players that you played with during that time, is there anybody that stuck out for, what they showed you, or maybe some musical aha moments that you had?
Actually, without a doubt. The first guitar player in a band situation who minced no words was Jim Dorn. And he lives out in Vancouver area now, and he played, I think, with Lisa Brokop since then, and did a bunch of studio work out there. But he was like, no bones about it. And he was, I kind of made him the musical director of the band that I played in. So he'd be the first guy, more or less showing you what not to play, not what to play, but what not to play. Don't play that because that's not right. Like nerdling. Used to hate if you nerdle type of thing. So, and the second guy would be Ollie Strong, who was a steel player, but he also played guitar and fiddle too.
Them steel players are so talented.
Yeah, and he was basically, he just like he said, how do you put together a solo type of thing? How do you think of your C? Do you think of your C like that? And he says, think of your C like it's barred like that, like B all the way up. And then you got your scale there type of thing. So he kind of became the guy who gave me the basics of why and how to put a solo together. You know what I mean? So
expand your thinking a little bit about, well, when you know your fretboard, obviously.
Yeah. So like he just kind of, how do you put it together? Like some guys will think of a scale like that, a C. You know what I mean? So I think of things as chords. So I just always put it into a chord type of thing. But there's two ways to think. He said you can think of it as notes, or do you play a solo around a chord structure? And being a rhythm player first, that was the most natural way for me to put a solo together, is around chord structure.
Right.
You know, and then from there you just kind of bend it and twist it and make it your own.
That's deep. Okay, so we had the steel player that you talked about. So there's a couple guys that helped you out, and it's funny, like when I think of some of the players that influenced me, man, I can name them all, and I can remember the moments that they taught me things. But the other thing about musicians is, the memories that we make sort of aside from the music, and good laughs and good times. And why don't you tell us one of your most memorable, road stories? Good or bad?
Well, it's kind of
fired, held over, whatever.
It was close to being fired. We showed up in Golden, BC, and it was a rock bar, and we were a country band. It happens all the time, as you know. So we get there. So we played the first set, and it was country, and like they didn't like us. The people didn't like us, and the bar wasn't sure what they were going to do. And I said, well, let us do another set, and then you can make a decision. So I said, the boys, let's have a double Ryan Ginger and figure this out. So we did, and I said, I'm just going to turn on the distortion pedal, and we're going to play. But there's no use playing songs you don't know. We might as well, we're going to rock up every country song we know.
Okay.
And then I screamed at the crowd, like, what the hell is the matter with that one? And they all started clapping as the night went on. They came around a little bit. And we collected our paycheck and hightailed it out of town.
Bill, being a good front man is huge.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to do that, to get people on your side.
It was part out of necessity. I thought to myself, like, back in those days, we didn't have a lot of money. So we were in a van, 2 vans, where you had to bring your own PA and lights and all that stuff. I thought, well, this is an expensive trip if we do one set. And I have to go all the way home.
Exactly. Do you ever wish that you would have actually written down about every gig you ever played? Even if it was just the date, where you played and who played with you. Even if it was as simple as that, like a diary. Like so many times we tell road stories with each other, and I often think about that. How neat it would be to look back, because our memories they start looking at things a little better, maybe with
and then there's other times that it was so good, but I mean the room was not very busy. It was a Big Al's Jam, and Ian Tyson had just played at the Jubilee Auditorium, and at the time I was recording a song with Dave Hamilton, who was producing it and stuff like that. So he came in with the band who just played with Tyson at the Jubilee Auditorium. And I said, let's do a Tyson song. And they just kind of rolled their eyes a little bit. And they said, okay. And I sang Summer Wages with the guys who were on the record. And it was killer. It was just like, perfect. It's just like, and I turned around, and Tom Moon was the drummer, and he looked at me and says, nice job. And that made me feel like, cool.
That is a fantastic memory. That's a perfect time for us to take another pause here with the one and only Bill Blayney, a good friend of mine and a mentor, fellow musician, and one heck of a front man. Thank you very much. Be right back.